Hello, I'm Dr. Mark Besancon, and this is your pet tip of the month. It is October now, and the big season of Halloween is among us, and so we need to think about a couple of things that goes on in Halloween and this time of year as the weather starts to cool down and we start bringing decorations out for Halloween and things, and then get all the food and everything together, the candies and things. We need to make sure that we keep in mind that our pets have that are around don't get into some of these things. So starting with food, big things with food, there's going to be lots of candies, lots of chocolate. Chocolate can be harmful to your pet, cat or dog, and increased quantities of chocolate. These guys can get really excited, their heart rate will increase, some of them will even have seizures. So we need to keep chocolate, especially dark chocolate, away from our pets to make sure that they don't have these problems. Other things with food, xylitol. Xylitol is a sweetener that's used in many foods, and we need to make sure that xylitol containing foods do not get in the reach of our pets, as this can cause a drop in blood sugar and can cause some serious problems to these guys, and would definitely need to be brought in if that occurs. Other food in general, we need to just watch to make sure that they don't get into it because of the just stomach upset, diarrhea, vomiting, things like that. Animals are not used to eating table food, can have problems with that, and so we need to make sure that that stays out of their reach. Especially with cats that can get on counters, that's a bigger concern than the dogs that can't reach that stuff. So be careful with the food in this Halloween season. Keep the chocolate and different candies away from these guys for not just stomach upset but other reasons as well. Decorations, there's going to be a lot of decorations out. We need to make sure that those that have the little frillies and the twine and things like that, make sure that stays out of the reach. Dogs and cats that ingest this can have stomach problems, foreign objects. We want to make sure that we don't have to do surgery on those guys to get that stuff out. So be careful with any kind of little balls and different decorations that these guys can get a hold of. With that comes along the costumes. Same thing. Make sure that if the costume's laid out or you're wearing it, that they don't have access to biting, chewing on these things. They're not left out to where they have access to those. If you're going to put a costume on your pet, make sure that you do not block their senses. And what I mean by that is do not block their vision. Make sure that the costume doesn't block their hearing and all, their sense of smell, things like that. That's how these guys get around, and then we need to make sure that they can be aware of their surroundings so that they don't get in harm's way at nighttime, especially whenever there's vehicles, people running around, trick-or-treating and things like that. You just got to really watch these guys as well. If you are going to take them trick-or-treating with you, make sure they are wearing something reflective, as you should be, so that if there's vehicles, people can see them and they don't get hit by cars, things like that, that would need emergency treatment and would potentially ruin the fun that you're having that evening. Black cats in general, a lot of people like to pull pranks on black cats during Halloween. We need to make sure that if you own a black cat, that you keep it inside or keep it out of harm's way, as there are many kids that like to run around and pull pranks on these guys. So keep them safe, make sure they don't get harmed in any way. A couple of other things with the trick-or-treaters, as they come to your house, make sure that your pets are restrained. And what I mean by that is maybe put them in a back room, maybe with some soft music, something like that. You don't want them bolting out of the house or going after trick-or-treaters if they are in the house, and don't want anybody bit or anything like that. So for the protection of them, for the protection of the trick-or-treaters, make sure that they are in a safe place in the house away from these guys so they don't escape and or affect anybody that's coming to trick-or-treat. Halloween season is a fun time, and so we want to make sure that it's fun for us and for our pets. And in doing that, we just needed to think about these few things. Just keep them in the back of your mind and enjoy your holiday season.